And the NFL draft is always fun, like because that's coming up. That could be talked about every freaking day because I mean that's just fun to
And
me.
welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I am Michael Buckheischer. I am the host of this fine established this afternoon. And as always, guys, I'm giving you the Royals update. Royals did lose another quote heartbreaking loss. It was like 7-2 or something like that. But the silver lining underneath all that, Whit Merrifield extended his streak to 31 games. That is now a Kansas City Royals record, and this dates back to 2018. They haven't played for 31 games yet. Wait till next week when it's like their 15th, 16th game. But Royals dropped to 2-8 on the season. If you're listening to us live on YouTube, as of right now, they are beating the Seattle Mariners 1-0 in the end of the third. But as Royals fans, we know how that happens. We always start strong and end weak. Pitching is not our strong point anymore for some reason, which really sucks. But Marcus, welcome to the show, man. Marcus the Freak, guys. As always, my man. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. And to follow up on your baseball stuff there, I'm having a blast to the beginning of this Major League Baseball season. I got the Red Sox that suck so far. They decided not to pay Kimbrel and Kelly. Smooth. How's that working out for you right now?
Right.
And the Yankees suck so far, so I'm having a blast with that. And the Astros just swept the Yankees. So far in baseball, life couldn't be better for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think baseball is always better when the Red Sox and Yankees do bad because those fan bases are so passionate about their sports.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what to do. They're like Ricky Bobby and the Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with like my hands, and
Yeah.
I always like it when like those underpaid teams do well, like
Yeah.
the 2014 Kansas City team. We won the World
Yeah.
Series with the second lowest payroll. A couple years ago, the Houston Astros won with the lowest payroll in the Major League Baseball, and I just think that's exciting. So like all these teams that paid Harper $300 million, they played Manny Machado $330 million. I wish nothing but ill will on those teams. Like I hope they only win like 30 games, like all season.
Yeah.
They play what 163 games in a year.
162.
Yeah,
Yeah.
162. I hope they lose 75% of the games. The only games I want them to win just to create the buzz is early season opening day, and then like maybe a game before the All Star break. That's the only games I want them to win.
It's amazing the numbers that baseball throws out. I mean, I remember one time I looked at Manny Ramirez's salary, Manram. He was making 162,000 a game.
Really?
Now, can you imagine that's 162? So that's 162 games. So think about that, 160 some thousand a game. That is insane. He could buy a house for somebody every game.
Yeah. Let's break that down for the average viewer here. So $162,000 a game. The games are 9 innings long. If my calculator pulls up here, how much money is that an inning of baseball? So see here,
Yeah, no, you're
162
talking about
divided by 9.
$15,000 an inning.
Yeah,
But
$18,000 a inning. So the average inning is probably 24 pitches. So we'll divide that by 48. For 24 on the top, 24
so
on the bottom.
if somebody got a job today at Burger King, right?
You're
They
right.
make 15,000 a year minimum wage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Manny Ramirez made that in an inning for you guys.
Yeah, give or
That's
take.
insane.
Give or take, he is making $400 a pitch.
I mean that's
$400 a
insane.
pitch. So the time it is taking you to drink your $12 beer, he's made $3,000.
And then the salaries have gone up since Manny Ramirez.
Right.
So you're talking about Machado and Harper and these guys. I mean, it's just incredible. I remember when the Alex Rodriguez deal came down. It was a while ago. I don't know. You were probably in high school or something. Remember the Alex Rodriguez deal?
Yeah.
That was 250 million over 10 years, and I almost drove off the side of the road.
Right.
I thought maybe it was going to be like 150 million. I thought that was pretty good. They said 250 for 10 years, and that everybody freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, like in the defense of a baseball player, they do play 162 games a year.
Yeah.
They are only off 9 or 10 games in this 8-month span. So from March until November, if they make it to the World Series, during the regular season, so from March until October, they only have 9 days off. Let me rephrase that. They have about a week off, so 7 plus 9, so they have like 16 days off in a year.
Baseball, you're 100% right. They earn it. I mean, we're just talking about the salaries are crazy. I mean,
$330 million over 10 years.
Like, I mean, they go to work every day.
This is like triple generation life changing money. That's not counting like the shoe deals that you have. The glove deals that you have.
Yeah.
Like Under Armour saying, hey, I'll give you an extra $100 million if you wear my glove. Like, I mean, it's crazy how much money is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you would have told me back like in the early '90s, right, when I was in high school, if you would have told me, hey, somebody's going to sign for $330 million, I'd have told you were nuts.
Right.
I would have told you the owners aren't giving away their franchise to one player.
Yeah.
Like $330 million, I would have told you you're crazy. Even $100 million, I'd have said, okay, maybe. 330, I would have said you're nuts. The best thing about being a baseball player, though, they do work a lot or whatever, but they are off in those awesome holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. That would be fun. Right. But they do have a long season.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, the only positive about being a baseball player is you can play till you're 40, 45. There's a guy for the the Florida team. He's like 42. Randerson. Like I remember him playing since I was like 6 years old. So
yeah, you know what? Let me just say something. I'm not trying to discourage it, but you're 100% right. You get your kid into baseball. Yeah. I mean, that's what you do. You put a glove in his hand, a bat in his hand. Probably the worst. I was just, this just popped in my head. Probably the worst professional athlete, position that you could probably play if you say, "Oh, I'm going to try to make it doing this," is NFL running back.
Yeah, 100%.
There's just too many.
5 years tops.
5 years. Those guys, I think their average is like 3 years, and they're out of the league. And so, so awesome. They collected, a few $100,000. Now they're going to have to go do something, get their degree, and they're washed up at 27, 26 years old. They take too much pounding. So NFL running back is probably the worst where, you got to get your money.
Yeah. Here are the best 3 professional sports or professional positions you can play. You want to be a fielder for Major League Baseball, meaning like shortstop, second base, because pitchers' lifespan is pretty short as well. You see more and more pitchers going through Tommy John surgery every year and like year out. So I feel their lifespan's pretty short. So you want to be a fielding position, a point guard in the NBA, because you just mean like your shot will always kind of be there, and then you dictate the pace of the game. So like if you're getting older, you can slow it down. And then a NFL kicker.
Oh my God, that would have lavish life there.
Right.
I want to come back and be Gostkowski.
Yeah. Well, we went and saw the Colts play last year. Adam Vinatieri. He's 45 years old. I'm 32. Like I just turned 32 today. Happy birthday to myself. I don't remember a NFL game without Adam Vinatieri in it. Think about that.
I'm Adam Vinatieri's age, and I don't remember an NFL game. No, he's up there. That is absolutely amazing. I mean, that is incredible. Man, you just 45 years old and you can still kick and make a lot of money. That's pretty impressive.
And he's still probably one of the top 5 kickers in the league, easily.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that was our little banter for the day. I like that, Marcus. That's the one thing me and Marcus have, guys, is we just start flowing, and next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock at night, and we've been talking for 4 hours and haven't got to the topics at like that we have wrote down. So, but if you guys have been sleeping underneath the rock, we did not do a show yesterday, but Tuesday night, Magic Johnson stepped down as operations manager. I'm not sure what exactly his title was. I thought it was GM, but on the press release that I saw was like operations manager or something to that effect. And
President or something.
Yeah.
President or something. Yeah.
And like then I saw I don't know if it was a tweet by him or a quote by him, but he says, "I do not want to face Jenny Buss and tell her that I quit." Like, for me, that's freaking weird. Like, you are a man, you cannot go into a woman's office and like, "Hey, I'm done here," or like a boss in general. So I wonder what's going on over there in Lakerland. Marcus, like I feel like you probably have a little bit better insights than I do. I think it's just the LeBron effect at work, but then Magic Johnson is the one that brought LeBron James in. He is the one that wanted to tamper and bring in AD. I guess you want to say it. So, what are your thoughts of like what exactly is happening over there in LA?
Well, the disappointments on the Magic Johnson's little 1-year term there is, yes, they were able to get LeBron, awesome, but they weren't able to get LeBron that second superstar, and they couldn't deliver on that. I thought it was Bush League what he did. You can't just say, "Oh, I quit," without speaking with people and tell the media first. That's terrible. He talks about, "Oh, I'm gonna have to fire people now, and I'm Magic Johnson, and then that sucks." Well, what did you take the job for, man?
Exactly.
I mean, I like Rachel Nichols interviewing, but so she's a friend of Magic Johnson, and so a lot of people you really can't ask the tough questions. I mean, that's the first question out of the box. Well, then you knew it was going to be hard. You knew you were going to, I can't cut people. I can't trade people. Well, what the hell are you doing then? So you knew that, what did you think? You were just going to join the Lakers and LeBron was going to show up and it was just a titles? I mean, that doesn't happen. This takes a process. This takes years, unless you could have brought a Kawhi Leonard in and a LeBron in. And yes, injuries did happen to them. But I'm a little tired of people saying they were fourth in the Western Conference when they were 20-14. Hey, people, you were 20-14. It was a long season ago. Don't sit there. Oh, we were in the fourth place. Who knows what you would have been 20-14? It'd be a little bit different if they'd have said we were 45-20 and we were fourth in the Western Conference. That's different. Right. 20-14, I don't want to hear that anymore. Yeah, it kind of freaked me out that all of a sudden he just did that. I thought it was a little Bush League. He should have gone in, just like you said, Michael. He should have talked to Buss. I don't understand why he didn't do that. He goes, "Oh, I'm not having any fun and how I feel and all that." Well, hey, sometimes you got to say the hell with your feelings and do the right thing. And he didn't do that. He kind of punked out on it. Listen, it reminds me a little bit, if you're a millionaire, you have this corporation and all that. Sometimes you can't bring your family in to help you run it, right? Because sometimes your family won't make the right decisions and be hardcore. They'll try to get along with everybody and the kumbaya and all that. The Lakers are going to have to hire an outside person, a coach that has nothing to do with the Lakers. They're going to have to hire an outside GM and president that's just going to come in, make decisions. Is not going to care about what LeBron says or not going to worry about, oh my God, is Jeanie Buss going to? No, they have to come in and say, we're going to do this trade. This is how we're going to get better. You got to bring in a basketball person that's not affiliated with the Busses and all that. That's a terrible organization. They keep on hiring family and friends. Now, Kobe is supposed to be in line for the next, could be the next Magic. That's worse. He's friends with Rob Pelinka. Kobe's too close to the situation. Now, Kobe will probably be the opposite of Magic and be a hard ass and probably release everybody and have to start from new. You just can't. You got to hire a couple of people that didn't grow up loving the Lakers in terms of, grab somebody from the 76ers organization, grab somebody from the Spurs organization, although I don't think anybody from the Spurs organization would go help the Lakers. As you can see, Pop, there's a terrible relationship there with the Lakers and Popovich going back to the Phil Jackson days. And we can get into that one day, but they don't like each other at all. There was rumors that Pop was telling New Orleans, don't deal with them idiots. And then there was also the Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers thing. Pop was just playing with him. He was playing them. Hey, give me Brandon Ingram, give me Kuzma, give me your 3 first-round. I mean, he wanted the farm, and he knew he wasn't going to get that. He knew he was never going to send Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers. So Pop is playing real gamesmanship, and that goes back to bad blood between him and Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson making fun of Pop and the Spurs and all that and their Astros championship. Phil Jackson actually called Pop and his coaches there the simulator crew, which means they can only simulate the game because none of them have ever played it. So that kind of sticks with Pop. Pop doesn't play around with stuff like that. You take on Pop like that, he's going to come back at you. He's going to make life tough on you, and he's actually made life tough on the Lakers, and for good reason. That's a terrible organization. Magic did the wrong thing. He should have never taken that job. And then this also goes back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago. LeBron James, what are you doing?
Right.
You should have never gone to the Lakers. That's a terrible organization. I don't even know how much I can reiterate that. They're losing franchise. Okay, Kobe left. Even when Kobe was there at the end, the last couple of years, they were terrible. The guy was collecting all his money, and they weren't putting together a roster in place for when he left, they'd be sufficient. Why would LeBron choose to go there with a chance of no rings? That means basically LeBron did it for non-basketball reasons. He did it to appease his family, which is cool, make the wife happy, make the son happy, okay, but you're still 34 years old. I know he's played more minutes than anybody in NBA history, but don't you still want to win rings, or are you just going to rest on your 3 rings? I don't understand that at all. My daughter just walked in.
That's all good.
But I don't understand that at all. You could have joined it. Picture LeBron right now on the Nuggets. What do you think would happen?
Oh,
picture LeBron right now on the Spurs.
That's nice.
Picture LeBron right now, with an organization that's up and coming, or with an established coach like Pop. The Spurs would be 60-22, and they would have played around with everybody the whole season. And they could have had LeBron with all the players they have now. Because all they would have had to have done was move Gasol's salary and then not sign Rudy Gay, and LeBron would have fit right into that little $26 million.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I don't know. Magic, to go with your question, Magic Johnson did a bad thing. Should have never taken the job. Shouldn't hire people close like that, like family. I mean, the Lakers have to hire basketball people. And you know what? I don't like the Lakers, Michael. I hope they don't. I hope they hire Kobe and it just completely goes downhill.
Yeah.
But yeah, Magic did a bad thing there. He should have had the cojones, like you said, to go in a genie bus and said, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling, and I want to step down." Instead, he let the media know. That's Bush League.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said there, 100%. Like, I feel like if Magic Johnson ever wants to work in basketball again, like, he should have went in there and kind of quote unquote gave his 2 weeks. Like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is what's going to happen, and then go to the media, because like they always, somehow the media always has their inside rat or their snake or whatever you want to call it. As soon as that conversation was over, the media would have found out more than likely. I could see it now. It is coming off of like just like on my phone. Breaking alert. Magic Johnson steps down, and they could still be in that meeting, like they had like a wiretapper or something to that effect. But just to go back to your LeBron thing, going to LA, we did a podcast a while back when this first happened, and me, Billy Hatton, and like Matthew all agreed that LeBron was going to LA for non-basketball reasons. He had been on record saying that he wants to play NBA for like a year or two, like him and his son on the same team. And when you go to LA, you have this quote, such family environment. Why wouldn't the Lakers go and pick up his son? They want to appease this superstar and appease this this amazing basketball talent that we've had the opportunity to watch since he was 18 years old on. Why not make him happy? And then
go. If you're in the business of acquiescing to people and appeasing people, you got to get out of there. You can't do the family thing. Yeah, go ahead. And you got to make hard, tough decisions.
Yeah, and those hard, tough decisions will not be made until LeBron James leaves LA. Like, I think once LeBron leaves LA, you will see a complete sweeping of the house. Jeannie Buss might even sell the team like at that point, or basically hire a quote unquote owner. Like, she still owns the team, but there's a figurehead as a owner there. So like she's the one simply just writing the checks at the end of the day, and she has no insight of the operations like at all.
If I was Jeannie Buss, as soon as Toronto season's over, I'd call Masai Ujiri, and I'd give him any amount of money he wants, the Toronto GM, and I'd ask him, can he bring Kawhi Leonard?
Oh, that's
If
a
he
good
could
point.
deliver, if Masai Ujiri could come and deliver Kawhi Leonard, I would do that. That would be my first route. I mean, there'd be a bunch of different routes I'd go. That'd probably be the first one I'd go to. But hiring Kobe Bryant to replace Magic Johnson it's not gonna help.
There is a reason why Michael Jordan is not working for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
It does not work. Like, your legacy as a player does not carry over to the front office. That is because that is why you see Larry Bird not on the Celtics organization. Michael Jordan's not on the Bulls
right.
organization.
And also,
yeah.
Michael Jordan can't pick talent for some reason. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
The greatest player of all time has a terrible draft history and free agent history.
Yeah.
Isn't that the best player he's ever picked is Kemba Walker?
Right. I mean,
How long has he been in the job?
Yeah.
Like,
Kwame
Brown, Adam Morrison. You like those guys?
No.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. That also incorporates over to the football side of things as well. Think about this. John Elway was quite arguably the best quarterback in that 8 year span. He become he's a GM, isn't he?
Yes. President, GM, all that.
Yeah. I mean, so he is terrible at picking talent, and the Denver Broncos organization has gone downhill. Why? Because you cannot bring a player that has success on the field into the front office. It just doesn't work. The track record's there. Michael, Denver Broncos, Lakers.
I'm gonna agree. I'll agree and disagree with you on your Denver take. I mean, he was the GM that put together a Super Bowl team.
Okay?
Kind of. But no. Here's where you're right. The guy can't find a quarterback, and I consider John Elway a top 3 quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
How do you not find a quarterback? How do you not make a trade for the quarterback? I mean, Paxton Lynch, really? That you can put that up there with Michael Jordan selecting Kwame Brown and Adam Morrison.
Sometimes like this might be a stretch, but sometimes I think in the back of their head they want to be like, I still want to be the best player that this organization has ever seen. So they draft mediocre talent so that person cannot overtake them on the greatest of the team. So let's just say, do you really think let's say Kobe Bryant was a GM for the Lakers right now, do you think he would have really made the move to bring LeBron James in? That will taint his legacy.
Well, I think Kobe would have tried to have lured LeBron anyway, because I don't think that Kobe. There's a lot of talk with LeBron. Is LeBron better than Kobe? I think Kobe loves the Lakers so much. I think he still would have tried to bring LeBron in. I don't think that. I think that Kobe loves the Lakers more than he hates LeBron, more than he doesn't want LeBron to be in his legacy. So I still think Kobe might have done that. But that being said, you can get LeBron if you want to, but LeBron can't win a title by himself. The guy is 34 years old. He's played more minutes than anybody in NBA history. You're not getting the 27-year-old LeBron. And by the way, the 27-year-old LeBron, who was the best in the game, can't win a title by himself either. He didn't win a title in Cleveland. I mean, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love are pretty damn good players, and Kyrie Irving's a special talent and a killer at end of games. So, I mean, LeBron, you got to give him some talent there. I mean, and I don't know why LeBron went there, and they couldn't make the trade to get him some talent. I can't wait to see this offseason to see if Anthony Davis goes there, if they finally make that trade, or what free agents they get. I'd be targeting Kemba Walker. I really would, because
you have to have somebody there. Yeah, you definitely have to have somebody there.
Kemba Walker is like a poor man's Kyrie. LeBron can just lay off a little bit and let Kemba do his thing and win some games, while LeBron kind of hangs out in the regular season because he's getting older. He used to let Kyrie do that with Cleveland. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
He would say, Kyrie, take over.
Yeah.
You can have it now. I'll just rebound and play defense in spurts, and you take over games. He didn't have anybody to do that with the Lakers. They're a bunch of jump shooters.
Yeah,
I still don't understand getting rid of Julius Randle, to be honest, with the Lakers. Julius Randle can switch all 5 positions. Pop would love Randle right now on the Spurs. He's a guy that can he's developing a jumper, but he blocks shots and rebounds, and he can defend any position. Julius Randle. How can you get rid of a guy where you switch positions and it doesn't matter? He can guard 1 through 5. And so I don't know why you would get rid of that guy. So that's kind of what gave Virginia a little bit of fits with Texas Tech, is Texas Tech could switch everything and every one of their players could guard any position just about. So they did a lot of switching. So I don't know why you get rid of Julius Randle with the Lakers. I think he would have helped them tremendously this year. But anyways, it's going to be an interesting offseason to see who they get. And I'd target Kemba Walker and I'd target Chris Middleton. And I would also target Boogie Cousins. But I still don't think that's going to put them over the top. They need an Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard. But getting a Chris Middleton and a Kemba Walker will put them in the conversation of what we're about to talk about in a little while, which is the playoffs.
Right. So, guys, as we started here, Magic Johnson is out. He did quit as operations manager, president of operations. I saw some crazy tweet where Magic Johnson has survived 30 years off of HIV, but he can't survive 9 months with LeBron James. That's a terrible joke, but it's kind of funny. Yeah. Me like at first I was like, should I say that? But then it was like, but it like at the end of the day, it is kind of funny. So I love it
because I hate the Lakers. So let's see another 7 years of futility. How about 70 more years of futility? How about that? How about they give the business to their kids and their kids run it into the ground as well? That'd be cool too for me.
There you go. This is a true Laker hater here, Marcus the Freak on the Twitter machine, guys. If you guys are not following him, definitely give him a follow. So, guys. The topic of today's show is the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs is now officially set. We've been kind of speculating all week and a half here, but the Eastern Conference, it breaks down like this. The first matchup, you have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Detroit Pistons at a 1-8 seed there. 4-5 seed, you have Boston Celtics, Indiana Pacers. That hasn't changed the last couple weeks. I think that's been kind of locked as well. 3-6 seed, you have Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Nets. And then you have a 2-7 matchup in the Toronto Raptors versus the Orlando Magic. Magic did ultimately end up sneaking in there and ending the Heat's any type of chance that they had making a playoff run. So, Marcus, we're just going to go game by game. We're going to pick a winner. We're going to pick in how many games and a player to watch for. So, if you guys are playing NBA fantasy basketball at all, listen to Marcus the Freak here. He always has some great insights. So, Marcus, we're going to start with you, and we're going to start with right at the top there. We're going to do Milwaukee Bucks, Detroit Pistons. Who do you have winning this series, and in how many games?
I got the Bucks in 5. I think the Pistons can get 1 at home. I like Drummond. I like Blake Griffin. Reggie Jackson was hitting the other night, and he's streaky, but they'll get a game, probably the game 3, or maybe they'll salvage it in game 4, and then the Bucks will go ahead and get them in 5. If the Bucks were completely healthy, if everybody was roaring and ready to go, I think the Bucks probably would sweep them. Be interesting to see Mirotic and Brogdon. Are they back? We'll see what happens there. I actually think this is good for the first round of the Eastern Conference in terms of, because the Eastern Conference is so top heavy, that Milwaukee can go ahead, and if Mirotic isn't ready or Brogdon's not ready, they probably could rest against the Pistons and still beat the Pistons in 5. You don't have that luxury really in the West, but you have it because the competition's a little better. But you have it in the Eastern Conference. Bucks in 5, they're just too much. The Greek Freak will show out here, and it'll be really fun to watch. But that being said, I mean, Drummond and Blake Griffin are no throwaways. Drummond controls the paint a lot of times, and it'll be fun to watch. But I think the Bucks will. These probably might be some close games here, but the Bucks will get them in 5.
Okay. Yeah, I hear everything you are saying, and I have to agree with you. And with Milwaukee going into cruise control, I think they want to make sure that they are 100% healthy going into that second round matchup versus a Boston or a Indiana, just depending on whoever they play, because they will need to be 100% healthy to beat either of those teams. So with that being said, I think Detroit is going to steal 2 games. So this is going to be a 6-game series, simply because the Pistons aren't that good, but the Bucks will be on this cruise control. So they will steal a game, possibly two.
I can see that.
Like on the road, and then they'll carry that momentum into Game 3 to take a quick 2-1 lead, and then Bucks flex their guns, and they just go off. I think a player to watch is Blake. Blake is very, very hungry to win a playoff series, to win a title, and the Pistons. He has to know that the Pistons are not the team to win a title this season by any means, but Blake wants to play himself into a position to where possibly he can get traded to a good team next year or next offseason alike as well. So he is definitely going to be given 110% this playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't average 30-plus points a game in this.
Oh, he probably will.
In this series. So Blake Griffin is my player to watch.
And I can't wait to see if the Greek Freak dunks on Drummond.
Yeah, that's
going to be fun because they're going to have a lot of collisions there at the rim. Right. Drummond's no punk. I mean, he blocks shots well and rebounds well. That's going to be a fun thing to watch. Can the Greek Freak dunk on Drummond? That's going to be a good one.
Right. So this Game 1 series starts Sunday night. I believe it's 7 p.m. is this start time on Sunday afternoon. But going on to the 4-5 seed here, we do have the Boston Celtics taking on the Indiana Pacers. A very, very surprising Indiana Pacers should even be in this situation at all, losing arguably their best player early, and I think it was January or February when they ended up losing Oladipo. So who you got in this series, Marcus? Player to watch.
It sucks for Indiana. I bleed for your Indiana team there because if Oladipo stays healthy, it starts out in Indiana. Indiana's probably the 4, or maybe even up. Maybe even they went up to the 3. But easily Oladipo's healthy. Indiana's the 4 seed and Boston's the 5 seed. I like Indiana's roster. I like what they've done with it. I have the Celtics in 5. I think Indiana does get a game. I told you the other day I love Bogdanovich. I mean, that guy, once he gets going, he can shoot lights out. I love Sabonis. Man, I mean, they have put together a good roster. That's why it sucks that Oladipo's not there. And my affection for Miles Turner. I mean, you talk about 6'11" in the triple threat position. 6'11" can shoot over you, drive over you. Just a solid player in Miles Turner, somebody that you can build around. And then I like the midseason trade. They got Wesley Matthews from Dallas to replace Oladipo in terms of not necessarily replacing all his production, but it's just somebody to put in there so you have somebody that's been through the wars before. Wesley Matthews is not the same player that he was when he had that Achilles injury, but he can still play some defense and he does hit open threes. And so, almost like a Bruce Bowen type, a Danny Green type,
Mm-hmm.
So I like the midseason trade to get Wesley Matthews there. I think Indiana gets a game, so Indiana will beat the Celtics. But Kyrie's just so good of a closer, and Celtics just have too much talent, too much depth to even fool around with the Pacers. But I think they're at where do y'all play now? It used to be called Market Square Arena. Now where is it now? I used to remember anyways,
it's
Indiana,
right across the street from Lucas Oil.
yeah, Lucas Oil. So anyways, it used to be the Market Square Arena. But anyways, I think Indiana gets at least one game there. But I have Celtics in 5.
Yeah, and I've been going back and forth on this series a lot. I want to pick a 5-game series, but I also want to pick a 7-game series as well, because Indiana has surprised me so much this season. I wonder if they're going to carry on this momentum onto the postseason. And I'm going to go out on a limb here 100%. I think it's going to go 7 games. I think this is going to be the only 7-game series in the Eastern Conference in the first round. Simply because I kind of think destiny is kind of on the side of the Pacers. When their star player went down, I feel like the fan base pretty much all but folded up this season. Like, we're done. Hey, let's start tanking. Let's start going for Zion. But this team found a way to win. I said they would make the playoffs, even though after he said after the injury, but I said they'll be squeaking in there as like an 8 seed. So for them to be playing the way they've been playing as a 5th seed, I think that carries on over to the playoffs, and this is a 7-game series with Boston ultimately winning a Game 7 at Boston Garden. It's hard to win a Game 7 there or a Game 6 even. So the Pacers they gotta try to steal one on the road early. Make sure they do their work at home. That's the only way they'll have a chance to win the series. If they steal a game early, a Game 2, usually that's when most teams steal a game, is Game 2. The home team comes out sleeping a little bit. Fans come out sleeping just a tad bit. And then they get on a quick run. They win two at home, and then possibly a Game 6 at home. Like as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Pacers took them to 7, and then you see the Celtics in 7. I picked the Celtics in 5. I can't wait to see. You talk about like matchups or players to watch. Can Al Horford at 6'9" check Miles Turner by himself with no double teams?
Right.
Can he do that? Because if he can, it's going to be a short series for the Pacers. But if they're coming with that double team, Miles Turner kicks it out to Bogdanovich and those boys. That's going to bode well for Indiana. So we'll see. I love the Al Horford Miles Turner matchup is going to be fun for me to watch.
That is a great matchup to watch. I actually have that down as my secondary matchup, but the player I really want to watch is Al Horford. I'm sorry, Gordon Hayward. I believe this is his first playoff game ever in a Celtics uniform. Last year he was injured right. all year, and the year before that, he may have played the first series. I'm not for sure, but they are making a big stink about him, this really being his first main series, and he's kind of starting to look like the Gordon Hayward of old before he broke his ankle. In his last 4 games, he's averaging 20+ points a game with 7 boards as well. So I wonder if that trend will keep happening, or if Kyrie hey, this is my team, I'm going to I'm interested to see that power struggle. Who is going to be the man? Is it going to be Kyrie? Is it going to be Hayward? Is it going to be PJ Dozier? Who is it going to be at the end of the day? So moving on to the next, on the bottom side of the bracket here, you have Philadelphia 76ers taking on Brooklyn Nets. This is a 3-6 seed. Floor is yours.
This is my favorite matchup of the Eastern Conference. This right here, to me, just from a basketball standpoint and watching this stuff, is must-see TV, because I like the Nets, not to win the series, but I'm going to pick 76ers in 76ers in 7. But the Nets are going to give everything to the 76ers that they want, and even then some. If Embiid is hobbled and has a knee injury and misses a couple of games, that is huge. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Embiid, let's just say Embiid didn't play, I'd pick the Nets in 6. I mean, that's how important Embiid is to that franchise. I know they got Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, and Redick, Ben Simmons. That don't mean a hill of beans if Joel Embiid is not there and Joel Embiid's not balling. He is the key to the 76ers. He's the best player on the 76ers. He's a matchup nightmare for anybody, Joel Embiid. That guy can take you in the post, and he can hit threes. I mean, that guy's the real deal. The Nets, though, I love the Nets. I love Dinwiddie and Russell and those guys. Man, I love the way they play. Allen from the University of Texas is kind of in that mold of Clint Capella and Steven Adams. So the Nets are the real deal. These games, I can't wait to watch. It's going to be the first game too, Saturday at 1:30. The Nets are going to give the 76ers, every game should be close. And I have the 76ers in 7, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if Embiid gets hurt, it's the Nets series to win. The Nets are phenomenal. And I'm a big fan of Dinwiddie. I love Dinwiddie. I'm so happy they gave him that contract. He probably just, if he would have kept playing and turned down the Nets contract, he probably would have been in line, as good as he is. He would have been in line for a bigger time deal. But he took that kind of like the home team discount with the Nets, right, and he decided to stay there. I love Dinwiddie. These guys are the real deal. So Damari Carroll's another one. He kind of reminds me of your boy Naz Reid.
Right.
Just a little bit smaller from LSU coming out in the draft. I love Damari Carroll. So no, the Nets are going to push the 76ers all the way to 7.
Yeah, and like this is where I thought the line was made in that Eastern Conference there. This like the 6th seed down, like they had no chance whatsoever. I've been kind of low on the Nets all season, to the point where like I wrote them off. Like any game that they won, I'm like, well, they're just, they had a good night. Like everything started to happen for them. But watching them the last couple games when like they were quote unquote fighting for their playoff lives, you saw a different team. You saw a team that has heart, that has passion, and the downfall of the 76ers is they have too many stars. They have too many mouths to feed on that team. And in the playoffs last season, we saw it. Like it was hard to feed everybody the ball. And then they add another superstar to that team in Jimmy. So the question that is going to arise: how is the Philadelphia 76ers going to play as a team in a playoff atmosphere? Because stars want to be stars in the playoffs. They want to do good things. And at the end of the day, there's only one ball. There's only going to be a couple stars.
Yeah. And what's amazing is Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler in contract years, I believe.
Yes.
So they want to show out, and
right.
I'm hoping Tobias Harris signs with the Spurs, by the way. But we'll see. We'll see when that situation comes up. And let me ask you this: for the Nets, for the Brooklyn Nets, is there a better shooter in the world than Joe Harris? I'll answer my own question. Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry probably are better shooters than Joe Harris. I'd put Joe Harris third. And this is a big deal for me because I love shooting. Mm-hmm. Joe Harris is probably the third best shooter in the world right now, behind Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry. He's better than the Bogdanovich brothers from Sacramento, one in your Indiana. He's better than Marco Bellinelli. Joe Harris is my player to watch. Once that guy gets rolling, he won the NBA three-point shootout, and I predicted him to win the NBA three-point shootout. Once that guy gets rolling, he's unbelievable. And so he's my player to watch in the Nets series. He probably will win a few games for them just on his shooting versus the 76ers. That's why I think the Nets are going to push 76ers. That's why I have 76ers in 7. But if Embiid is hobbled, the Nets will bite him. The Nets will get him. I think the Nets could beat him.
Yeah, that is my player to watch as well is Joe Harris. He does shoot lights out, and I think that's the only way the Nets have a chance to really make this a competitive series. He has to have great games night in and night out. He cannot have a off. He cannot have a off night. So, and I think he like the first game he's going to have a off night. I think the stage is going to be a little bit too big for him in that first night. Game 2, he gets settled in a little bit more, and then game 3, game 4, then you see the Joe Harris that we've been seeing all season, shooting very, very, very well. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a 6-game series. I just think the Nets get in that 2-0 hole, 3-0 hole, and they start pressing a little bit too much. Harris start shooting shots that he shouldn't be taking. So they will win a couple games at home. They don't win any on the road. That's why I think it's going to be a 6-game series in that one. Moving on to the 2-7 seed, your Toronto Raptors, your Eastern Conference final team that you've been kind of on all season here, and the Orlando Magic sneaking into the playoffs. Who do you got?
This reminds me of the NCAA tournament. Okay, picture Toronto a 2-seed and Magic or a 15 seed.
Right.
Okay, this one will be done very quickly. It'll be done just like a 2-seed should beat a 15 seed. If this was a one-game tournament, a one-game situation, it'd be Toronto 110, Magic 85, and it'd be over and done with. I think this is the only sweep of the Eastern Conference. I think Toronto takes care of the Orlando Magic. And listen, I like some of Orlando's players. I like Fournier. I like Vucevic, and I love Gordon. Guy's a high flyer, and now Gordon's shooting threes. Their lottery pick from a few years ago. So I like the Magic, but Toronto is. You watch Texas Tech and you watched Virginia.
Right.
Toronto is Texas Tech and Virginia on steroids. Okay.
Yeah, very solid team.
You're not. The Magic shouldn't breathe. Okay. When you got Ibaka, Siakam, OG, Danny Green, and Kawhi Leonard, can you name me a better five that defend you? None. No. They'll destroy people defensively, and then they can also hit shots. So that's why when Kawhi Leonard went to Toronto, the team that should have been like, was the Celtics.
Yep.
Because the Celtics and Danny Green as well. Danny Green will lock your butt up, and so will Kawhi. So the Celtics are if you know, I thought Celtics would be in trouble once Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard hit the Eastern Conference. This should be a sweep. Toronto is too good defensively. Kawhi Leonard is, he's obviously, one of the best players in the league. So yeah, I mean, this is the one where it's just, this one's will be a big sigh, yawn, take a nap. If you don't like defense and you want to see a competitive game, don't watch these games. Because Toronto will destroy Orlando Magic. This should be a sweep.
Yeah, I really feel like I have to pick at least one game. Like, I think Orlando's going to get one game, but I don't see it happening. I have to go everything that's like you said. This is going to be a clean sweep. The games are going to be competitive throughout the first quarter. That's about it. And then Toronto flexes their guns, and it's going to be game over. Orlando shouldn't even be in the playoffs. This is the point of time where I wish there wasn't an Eastern Western Conference playoffs. Like I wish they would just pick the like the top 16 teams from East or West, and then have like a 1-16 matchup, 2-15 matchup. Like etc. Orlando shouldn't be there. They need to be. They need to be in the lottery. They need to get a RJ Barrett. They need to get a Zion. They're just not very good.
Right. Let me prove your point. If you took the Sacramento Kings right now, right, they would beat the bottom 4 teams in the East in a 7-game series.
Easy.
The Nets and Sacramento would be a great series.
Mm-hmm.
But Sacramento is better than any of the bottom 4. Like Sacramento would beat Magic. Sacramento would beat probably Indiana because there's no Oladipo. So yeah, East is top heavy, and Western Conference has a little bit better teams. You're right.
Yeah, and a player to watch. I think Hawaii is going to have a great series. He has a lot to prove. I think leaving San Antonio the way he did, sitting out all season, and being in Toronto, he hasn't had that much media coverage this season. This playoffs is his media coverage season. Yeah. He's playing for a contract as of right now. He wants to be the man in LA. Show me you are the man in Toronto right now. I think he's going to average 33 points this series alone.
And you know what? He can average 33 points in this series. I don't even think he'll need to, because he'll be sitting out some fourth quarters. He'll have like 25 in the first 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
The most pressure though on Toronto, the player, is Kyle Lowry, because we always mention his playoff woes. But that being said, like, this is the series where it's not going to be. They don't need Kyle Lowry to be lights out to beat the Magic.
No.
When Kyle Lowry, the pressure is going to be on him is going to be in that second round, and in the Eastern Conference Finals and in the finals. That's where we're going to see if Kyle Lowry can perform and get rid of those old past playoff woes. People always talked about it was DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry. They didn't show up. The funny thing is, when you go over those numbers, Kyle Lowry's really the one that didn't show up.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan didn't expand his game and become like, he didn't take his game to another level. He was the same old DeMar DeRozan.
Playoff mode. He didn't have playoff mode.
He played like DeMar DeRozan averaged his little 22 points and 6. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, he didn't like expand his game. He just did exactly what he did in the regular season, which is okay to a certain extent. But you got to have your other. But when your other guys like Kyle Lowry's going 7 for 20 and 2 for 15. That really looks bad. So Kyle Lowry, he's the player with the most pressure on him, but it won't be in this first series against the Magic. He'll have that pressure in the later rounds, Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, so I want to do a little asterisk by my sweep here. The only way the Magic get a game, period, in this game is if Toronto happens to get like a slight injury. If like say Ibaka maybe sprains his ankle or Lowry maybe sprains his ankle and they sit out a game. That's the only way they'll be able to get a game, because Raptors want their players 100% going into the second round. So if there's a slight, oh, my hamstrings are like a little bit sore, oh, my back sore, they'll sit out, they'll rest, and that's the only way Magic will even remotely have a chance to win a game. So, sorry, Magic, you suck.
Yeah, like you said, they're my Raptors, and like I said, I think they could become. I think that they're going to smash people defensively. So, like I said, they're Virginia Tech and Texas Tech on steroids. There's not a better five. Nobody has a better five. You take Lowry off the court, and then you have a Danny Green and OG backcourt. You know, with Ibaka and Siakam and Kawhi Leonard. There's not a better five defenders that anybody can put out there in the league. None. I mean, 100%. You talk about five players that just flat out can get after you defensively. So, yeah, I mean, Toronto shouldn't have any problem in this series.
Yeah. So, guys, that is our Eastern picks as of right now. Tomorrow we will go to the Western side and do the same exact thing. Pick some games, pick series, players to watch, and if some other breaking news comes up in between point A and point B, we'll definitely a little banter about that before the show as well. So, Marcus, I'm really surprised you are so high on Kawhi right now, to be honest, like just with you, the way he did your Spurs.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I figured you'd be doing a voodoo doll hex on him.
Hey.
I hope he gets 10 points tops.
Nah, I mean, listen, I don't like Kawhi Leonard anymore. He quit on the San Antonio Spurs. Through a little bit of fault to San Antonio, but mainly through him acting like a big baby.
Yeah.
Him and Anthony Davis, I call them hypochondriacs because if they have a little tweak here, a little tweak there, they don't play. And I have some good information. I have some good insight that I really can't divulge because if I divulge the insight, I won't be able to get it anymore because I don't want to out sources. But I know people that know Anthony Davis and that organization. I used to be in the media for 4 years. And I also know people that know know about the Kawhi Leonard situation. These guys are they want to they want to play at 100%. And look, Anthony Davis, you can't play at 100% all the time. Kawhi Leonard, you can't play at 100% all the time. Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard have gone through pregame rituals where they're jumping, cutting, running, and then tell their team, I'm not going to go today. I mean, in the mold of the Larry Birds who goes out there with a broken back. The Michael Jordan will play, who would beat his mom up to play a game.
Preach,
right?
Preach.
Yeah. These guys are a little soft in my opinion. But that being said, when Kawhi Leonard is on, I call him as I see him, even though I don't like Kawhi Leonard. When the guy is on, the guy is outrageous. I mean, he could sit there and hold your best player to 10 points and drop 25 on you. I mean, who does that? We talked about that the other day. I mean, there's, you know, Paul George can kind of do it sometimes. But not like Kawhi Leonard. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's the real deal, man. So I call him as I see him, and I just think he has that capability of taking a team and winning a championship. He's one of the few players that can put a team on his back and take his team to the finals, and he can do it. I've watched him do it. You know, when he got hurt with San Antonio, I think when Zaza stepped went under him, Spurs were up 25 on the great Golden State Warriors in the middle of third quarter. I mean, think about that for a second. They couldn't stop Kawhi Leonard. They were just shell shocked at how the Spurs were playing them defensively. Mm-hmm. And that's why I picked them to be in the NBA Finals. I think Golden State's going to be shell shocked when they get D'd up the way they're going to get D'd up. You know how many technicals that Golden State they cry and complain about everything.
Yeah.
You know technicals and complaining they're going to do about Toronto in that Finals. That's going to be. They're not even going to be able to hardly finish the game. Every stoppage of play, Steve Kerr, they're all going to start crying to the officials. I can't wait to watch that. But let's just get through the playoffs. But that's
if Golden State makes it to the finals, watch out for OKC. Yeah. Watch out for OKC. Tune in tomorrow if I pick Golden State to be upset in the first round. But guys, as always, thank you for joining us. If you're listening to on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, subscribe below. We'll like we always look at the comments and we'll try to interact with it throughout the show as well. If you are a baseball fan and you like me to cover your team right before the start of the show, like I do my Royals, just go ahead and send me a tweet at mbuck41. Just say, hey, I want you to cover the Texas Rangers. I would probably say no, but the Rangers are Rangers, and if you like them, I will give them a little shout out. I'll give them a little bit of love because baseball doesn't get a lot of love because stuff happens every day. Like it is hard to keep up with the baseball season if you're following all 30 Major League Baseball teams. If you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, consider subscribing to that podcast. Rate us 5 stars. All the good stuff. Share it with a couple friends. Marcus, any closing thoughts before we head out?
Hey, I'll just piggyback off your baseball. I hope the Red Sox lose today, and I hope the Yankees lose today. And
Philly and Padres.
That's fine with me. Hey, that's fine with me. Right now, can you imagine Boston radio right now?
Oh,
they're jumping off ledges.
Yeah.
What are they? They're like 3-9 or something. It
is the worst start since like 1919 or something like that that they've had.
Keep it up. And the Yankees, they're 5-7. I think the Yankees will come back. They're just too damn good. But it was fun to watch the Astros sweep them past few days.
It is fun seeing those quote powerhouse teams not be powerhouse teams anymore.
Right.
But guys, join us tomorrow, 1:45 Eastern Time, 12:45 Central Time on YouTube Live. Podcast shortly after that. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. We out.